Today is going to be a powerful day. Just going to conversate just a little bit. I want to talk about the value of our time, right? And so if you haven't already, go ahead and download Power to Prosper as the broadcast. You want to have it in your favorites. If you want to follow me, of course, on YouTube at Natasha Oquendo, definitely can see the broadcast visibly with your eyes, the recording. Some of us are visual and some of us are hearers, right? But many of us are aspiring, if you're like me, to be doers. Listen, so I want to talk about the value of our time. The reason I'm talking about this, the Lord brought it back to my remembrance. I thought about um, all that I was going through from 2017 on up, and even during the pandemic, having to bury people back to back and things of that nature really made me key in on my time and how valuable time is. Nobody has an epitome on time but God, right? He's the only one that is not bound by time like we are because he's in the infinite realm, but we're finite. And so, being that we're in that finite realm, time, we have 24 hours within a day, right? Time is one of those things that is so very valuable, but we can seemingly take it for granted from day to day, right? By wasting time and by letting others waste our time and utilizing our time um, just frivolously, right? And so, as I thought about this, it just took me on this journey, right? Reason being because as I entered into this new year, the Lord was challenging me about wasteful time, meaning spending time doing something that is pretty much dead works. And when I say dead works, meaning something that's not going to be beneficial towards me per se or towards the purpose and plan that God has on my life, the call of God on my life, um, the different assignments, right? And so I find myself as I took it more serious about my time and how I would spend it, right? And sometimes you have to pay attention because you'll be going through repetitive things, right? Repetitive things, and it be the same thing, repetitive things, repetitive things, repetitive things, and it keeps repeating itself, right? And it's almost if we're wasting time to try to learn. We're wasting our time because we're not keying in on the lessons that we need to learn in each season, right? And so as he was uh, dealing with me about that, I began to, I want to say, seize the day. I began to take my time back, take the value back of my time, right? And meaning, and it's crazy because when I was praying about this, it came out in my spirit about those who are squatting in my time, squatting in my time, because sometimes people will squat in your time. If you think about a squatter is somebody that is unauthorized to live on a property. They go into that property and they stay there at least 30 days, depending on what state you're in. And you can't just get rid of them. You can't just put them out, right? You have to go through the courts to get them out. And so, and even though it's your property and you may be paying for it monthly, but I'm saying that to say that even with your time, how valuable it is. And it made me think about different people that have left this world and did not get to tap into the purpose or the process or plan that God really had for them, the original plan that God had for their lives. They didn't get to complete or have the experiences per se, right? And so it made me think about the verse when Jesus said, I brought you glory by finishing the work that you gave me to do. And so many leave this earth without finishing the work that God gave them to do. And it really takes us ample amount of time to really tap into what that work is and go through the process of that work, meaning completing other assignments to get to the ultimate purpose. But I believe that all of it is the ingredients, right, to build us up to the place. And so I kind of want to read this. And this is from my, I have an ebook, and it's just a small ebook with principles in it. But and y'all don't laugh because I be having to take my glasses off to read, right? But listen, I want to read this because I thought this was one of the powerful concepts that I had within this ebook, and it's free for those of you who may hear this. All you have to do is go to the link in my bio or my description, and it's going to take you to a page, and it's going to say free gift, and you just click it. You give your email, and you'll be sent the download of this free gift. But these are concepts that I have lived by, right? And so this one is called Discern the Times. It reads, while the vast majority live a life driven by time, the powerful live life to accurately discern the times. So while many are driven by time, in order to be considered the powerful, you live your life to accurately discern the times. Life is never by happenstance. It is governed by specific times and seasons. The powerful develop knowledge of those times, what they should do, and actually do it. A time to listen and a time to speak. A time to learn and a time to teach. A time to begin and a time to end. A time to spend and a time to save. A time to give and a time to receive. So on and so forth. The point is to never live bound by time, but to navigate in time, on time. Time is of the essence. And so I wanted to share that. That's one of the principles that considered, and you know, you're listening to Power to Prosper. And so I talk about powerful concepts, or I break down or make plain different concepts that are everyday life, biblical, and I try to marry them, right? I try to marry them both because I am a woman of faith at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, and all in between, right? Never, never, never cast away the faith. And so, with that being said, I've come to realize that it is a powerful thing to not be caught up in the rat race or time or in the anxiety of time, but to actually learn how to discern the times, meaning to discern or to be in tune with what I need to be doing at a specific time or in a specific place or in a accurate season, right? And actually getting everything in that I need to do within that time so that I don't miss or get behind, if that makes sense. And the reason I'm talking about this is not only because God uh, revealed this or dealt with me concerning this, especially coming into this new year, to manage my time differently, to manage it more wisely, to discern where I should spend my time, who I should spend my time with, right? And all of these things. But he also allowed me to discern and spend time with others in conversations throughout the years. And literally, I would hear people that say, oh, I missed my season with that. And they would say that so casually, or, oh, I didn't get to do that. I guess I missed my season. And that thing became like, wow, I really keyed in on that because I said, okay, that's not something just casual, because some seasons you can't get back. One thing about time, once it's used, you think about it, we got 24 hours within a day. Once those 24 hours are up, there's a new day that comes. So you don't get those 24 hours that you've lost back. You don't get any of the hours that you've lost back. And I say that to say this, even if and just an example, right, to make us more mindful of time, to get us into the powerful place of where we're accurately discerning our time and our seasons and what we should be doing and doing it, right? Um, but one thing I want to show and say is that you don't want to be the person, like, I'm gonna use this when I say time wasting, worrying. Worrying is a powerful way to waste time, right? Right. And so that's one thing. Look at the different things, kind of map out your life, kind of look at your day. You want to seize your day, right? Look at your day, put out all the hours, and see what you spend the bulk of your time doing with those hours, right? And some of us are working 8 to 12 hour shifts on a job, spending the bulk of our life working on a job or whatever, working from home, whatever you may be doing, because a lot have changed since the pandemic. But see what you're spending the bulk of your time doing. And not only that, see what is squatting in your mind. See who's squatting in your life and start really looking and evaluating those things. What is spending more time? Is worrying spending more time in your mind? Is, or are you sitting there thinking of ideas and thinking of purpose and vision and how to fulfill it, right? And so start evaluating, I say, mentally about your time. What are you spending the bulk of your time throughout a day thinking on? What are you spending the bulk of your time in your day, even in your feelings? What is your feelings uh, in tune to the majority of your day? Meaning, are you feeling angry the majority of your day? Are you feeling frustrated the majority of your day? Are you feeling, and I'm saying this because I want you to seize the day, to seize your time, right? To bring your time back into your control, to bring it back into your control. And it starts mentally, of course. What's in your spirit? Is your spirit, you spending the bulk of your time in fear? Literally, because so many people are battling with things like anxiety, anxiousness. Well, what are you anxious about? Let's get down to the nitty gritty about really mapping out what is making you anxious. Is it thoughts or worrying or stressing about whether it's bills or whether it's your kids, whether it's how you gonna make ends meet from day to day? I don't know what that is. Is it because, oh, I want to be doing this, but I'm doing that? Or, because we can find anything to complain about. But what we don't want to do is to spend the bulk of our day complaining. So really look at that and really evaluate that and make a conscious decision that you're going to decide to shift that and to change that, right? Because you want to be in that space where the creativity is there. And when I say the creativity, it may be for simple things like trying to prepare different meals because you're changing your eating habits, and to really get the different ideas to come up with meals that are right for you, that are tailor-made for you, right? And even though you don't have to think hard, you can always go on the internet, but you want that creativity flowing within yourself so you can get those ideas, so you can wake up and it be a no-brainer that day, like, oh, let me fix this. Oh, that wound up being really, really good. I really enjoy that. Right. And that's just one simple way. Another thing may be, weight loss. It may be a way to go about doing it, right? But if your mind is clouded with worry and stress and fear and all of that, so now these things are squatting and taking up the bulk of your time within your day. And that's just on the psychological, that's in the psychological realm of what I'm talking about. But then there are physical things. There are physical things, whether it may be you playing games on your phone or whatever. Nothing wrong with playing games on your phone, but how much of your time is that taken up, especially if you're somebody who wants to achieve something or have goals that you want to meet, or different things that you want to experience success in. If you have plans that you want to accomplish, you have a calling you want to step into, or something else that you're planning on accomplishing or finishing. And so then now you have to evaluate how you're spending your time, and you have to discern your time, right? You have to discern your time, meaning you have to be in tune with what you should be doing and how you should do it, right? And so I was sharing that because that was something that was really on in my spirit. And I'm almost certain that it's going to speak prophetically to somebody else's spirit to go ahead and seize your time, because time is of the essence. And when I say that, we don't know the exact date of when we will be no more on the earth. We don't know the date. Each of us have a due date, right? We have a due date. We don't know when that is. And maybe you're like me, but I'm determined to get everything out of me that God put in me. And so definitely wanting to say that time is of the essence. And I want to give you an example. I want to give you an example of how I had to learn this, because there were consecutive things that took place throughout the years. Me going through certain things, experiencing certain things, and also hearing from other people and seeing them experience certain things. But the assignment for my book, and you can see it back there, Invitation to Queendom and 7 Keys to Unlock Your God-Given Superpower. Now, God ushered me into working on the book. And I got to a certain part in the book and I drew back from the book. And to this day, God, dealt with me about it. He said, you drew back from that assignment, from that book. And it maybe was some weeks or so, maybe even a month or so, right? That I drew back from that. But I, to this day, have this feeling like, okay, when I drew back, and the reason I drew back, it wasn't because I got stuck or writer's block. It was because I didn't want to tackle this specific topic. And it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with me trying to look out for somebody else, or thinking or worrying. There, that word is, worrying about somebody else, right? And so with that being said, God just began to deal with me about that. And I was totally convicted about my time. I'm like, okay, because I could have messed up having this done at a specific time, because times and seasons are important, right? Especially in the Lord. Times and seasons are important, especially to us as human beings. And so I could have been behind schedule in getting that message out, and for specific groups of women or whoever to get that message, right? I did pretty good, but I wanted it to come out during a specific time, and I was unable. That little bit of time that I drew back could have been the game changer. And so that could have held up other things that I needed to be doing after that, if that makes sense. So it's almost like this domino effect. When you start mismanaging or mishandling or lingering around idly with your time, then there's like this domino effect of things that occur or does not occur when they should occur, if that makes sense, right? And even in the book of Daniel, he talked about how the enemy wanted to frustrate the times and seasons for the saints. He wanted to frustrate those times. So the enemy is always trying to delay us or hinder us or frustrate the time of the Lord for us. And so we have to be mindful of that. We have to be discernful of that. right? And so I've already established that this time, this go around, this year, this month, this season, this time, dispensation of time, however we want to word it, I've already decided that I'm going to manage it better. I'm going to pay attention to what my mind is focusing on. And if it's something that's to bring anxiety or fear, or if I'm viewing, because most times we're viewing something from the wrong lens. And so instead of entertaining the fear or allowing it to take up residence and to squat in my mind and in my spirit and in my heart, because all of that affects you, from the physical, mental, emotional, it affects you in every dimension of who you are as a being. And so to take the time to see what my mind is spending time with, because the Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. And so if you what you're thinking about the bulk of your time, that's what's going to come into manifestation. That's good or bad, positive or negative. And so the scripture also says to think on these things above, things that are good, things that are wholesome, things that are, you get what I'm saying? Lovely. And so I'm saying that to say that's one realm of existence with your time, but also what you're doing. Are you spending more time thinking about something that you're supposed to be actually doing and functioning in? And I'm saying that to say, doing each part to get to purpose and function in purpose. Each part is important. Each part has a time frame. It has a measure, right? It has a measure. And so I just wanted to share that to make you mindful of your time. Are you spending too much time toiling with somebody, whether it's a relationship, and nothing you've seen long time ago, nothing's going to come of it that's good. Nothing's going to come of it that's going to be beneficial or good for you mentally, or good for you emotionally, or good for you even physically. Some people dealing with domestic violence and been in situations a long time, and you've built up so much time, you've invested so much time in dysfunction that you can't get out. But I'm here to tell you that you can. You can make the decision to seize the day, to seize your time, to take back your time, right? To take it back and apply it, for those who are of faith, to the things of God, to the things that God would have you to apply it to, because that's always going to steer you in the direction of your purpose, right? But also for your well-being. Maybe you need to take that time back from arguing and doing all that and dysfunction, and place and give a therapist an hour of that time to sit down and tell them what's going on with you, right? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. So I'm saying, in this time, discern the times for your life, whether that's health things you need to be focusing on and paying more attention to, being more healthy, what you're putting in your body, all of that. What you need to be doing as in moving towards your purpose, the assignments that you need to be putting in that time with to get you to that purpose, or whatever the case. Whatever the case, whatever area. Decide and then take action. This is Natasha Oquendo. You've been listening to Power to Prosper. Go ahead and download the broadcast, whether it's on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I look forward to sharing with you on the next episode. Be blessed.